What do George Clooney, high-end coffee, and an aluminum capsule have in common? The answer is Nespresso, a brand that revolutionized the way millions of people consume coffee worldwide. But what is the real story behind this company? How did it go from being an innovative project to a global empire? Join us on this journey through time, flavor, and the myths surrounding Nespresso. The story begins in 1976, in Switzerland. A Nestlé engineer named Eric Favre had a simple but revolutionary idea: to create a system that would allow anyone to prepare a perfect espresso at home, without needing to be an expert barista. The inspiration, they say, came from a trip to Italy. Favre was impressed by the quality and flavor of the espresso served in a small Roman café. He carefully observed how the barista manipulated the machine, the water pressure, the amount of coffee. There, in that small café, the seed of Nespresso was born. Favre dedicated years to researching and developing his idea. The goal was to replicate the perfect coffee experience, encapsulating the flavor and aroma in an easy-to-use format. In 1986, he finally launched Nespresso on the market. The system was simple: a machine that pierced an aluminum capsule filled with ground coffee, and pressurized water that extracted all the flavor. The first few years were difficult. The concept was innovative, but also expensive. The machines and capsules were more expensive than traditional coffee. In addition, people were used to buying ground or whole bean coffee in the supermarket, not through an exclusive system. Nestlé, the parent company, was not entirely convinced of Nespresso's potential. In fact, for several years, the project was on the verge of being cancelled. However, Favre and his team persisted. They believed in their product and were convinced that, sooner or later, people would appreciate the convenience and quality of Nespresso. The turning point came in the late 1990s. Nespresso changed its marketing strategy. Instead of selling the machines in department stores, it opened exclusive boutiques in major cities around the world. These boutiques were not just stores, but spaces where customers could taste different varieties of coffee, learn about the production process, and receive personalized service. Another key factor was the hiring of George Clooney as brand ambassador in 2006. The actor, known for his elegance and sophistication, perfectly embodied the values of Nespresso: quality, style, and exclusivity. The advertising campaign was a resounding success, and sales skyrocketed. From that moment on, Nespresso became a global phenomenon. The brand expanded its product line, offering a wide variety of coffees from different origins and intensities. It also launched new machines with innovative designs and advanced features. But, as with all great brands, Nespresso has also been the subject of criticism and controversy. One of the most recurring concerns: the environmental impact of aluminum capsules. While Nespresso has implemented recycling programs, many consumers wonder if they are really effective. This is where the myth, or perhaps the urban legend, comes into play. What really happens to used Nespresso capsules? Some claim that they end up in landfills, polluting the environment. Others, on the other hand, claim that Nespresso recycles the vast majority of the capsules, transforming them into new products. The truth, as is often the case, lies somewhere in between. Nespresso claims to recycle a significant percentage of its capsules, but the recycling rate varies greatly depending on the country and the environmental awareness of consumers. Aluminum, of course, is infinitely recyclable, but it requires the active participation of users for the process to work. Another rumor, less known, has to do with the origin of the coffee. Some claim that Nespresso uses low-quality coffee, disguised with elegant packaging and a sophisticated marketing campaign. The company, of course, strongly denies these accusations, claiming that it only uses the highest quality coffee beans, carefully selected from the best plantations in the world. Today, Nespresso is much more than a coffee brand. It is a symbol of lifestyle, sophistication, and commitment to quality. Its boutiques are meeting places for coffee lovers, and its advertising campaigns are media events. The brand has managed to create a community of loyal followers, who value the Nespresso experience above all else. But what can we learn from the story of Nespresso? Perhaps the most important lesson is that innovation, perseverance, and a good marketing strategy can transform a simple idea into a global empire. And that, even behind the most perfect cup of coffee, there is always a story full of challenges, controversies, and myths. Because sometimes, behind a simple logo, the "re" is a whole story that few know. Did you enjoy this journey through the history of Nespresso? If you want to discover more fascinating stories about iconic brands and their secrets, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave us your comments.